This is Ilia. He says, "Hey Abe, I'm a self-taught 3D artist trying to learn and get into the game industry when I'm old enough. I've been learning 3D for almost 3 years, focusing on environment, hard surface modeling, and a bit of sculpting. I know how to work with Substance, Blender, and ZBrush. Hope you like it. Let's take a look." Okay, so we got some interesting elements right here. Again, as I've mentioned before, try to avoid Ilia. Try to avoid these simple things, like just a bullet. We can model one of these things in like 30 seconds. Well, not 30 seconds, right? But we can do this relatively fast. And I like the fact that you're exploring different light scenarios, but this is something that you share on your Instagram page. This is something you share on your socials. This is not something for your portfolio because it's not impressing anyone. Believe me, anyone who can model can do these bullets. So it's not something that's gonna like make me pick your asset, okay? Let's see. What is this? Okay, so if you're doing this kind of environments, Ilia, one of the things that I want to see again is the breakdowns. I want to see each individual element and how you handled it, rather than just like a final piece right here. This looks interesting. This could be part of a small little video game here and there. And I can see that you did spend some time on the modeling part of it. But if I don't see the breakdowns, it's very difficult to evaluate your construction. Same for some of the simple assets. Yeah, I mean, you look very young, Ilia, and I know you mentioned that you want to get into the industry when you get older. That's fine. That's fine. It's great that you're already exploring some of these things. We definitely need to work a little bit more on, for instance, the sculpting and the texturing side of things to be more careful about the textures. I'm not sure if you checked the Substance Painter course that I have. Check it, because you might be able to get some like nice tips from there. But it also comes down to the modeling side of things. So, for instance, this one right here. I recently did a shield myself, and oh man, I hate to do this. I hate to do this because I feel like an asshole doing it, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna just show you a comparison, right? Because this is what we were talking about a little bit earlier. Like, this is your shield, and some people, I'm not saying you are this specific case, Ilia, but some people might be like, "Oh, I did a shield. Now I can work in the industry. Now I can get hired." There's a little bit of nuance differences from a shield that someone is doing when they're learning the thing, and as you get more professional and you get a little bit better and better, you're gonna start seeing more and more things that are gonna make your stuff look a little bit more professional. So let me show you. I literally just did a biking shield like a couple of days ago, and not like, this is not even like my best work. This took me like maybe like a couple of hours, but this is the kind of difference that recruiters do notice. Right? And again, I hate to do this. I don't want to look like an asshole saying like, "Oh, look at how better I am than you are," because of course we have different journeys and we are at different stages of our careers. But this is the stuff that recruiters see, right? Again, like if you put yourself in the shoes of a recruiter and you're like, "Okay, who am I going to hire? I'm going to hire this artist or I'm going to hire this artist." You're probably going to go with the second one. Now, the main thing that you can do here is ask yourself, how can I get from this point to this point? What is it that I'm missing, right? Am I missing modeling skills? And I would say no. Your modeling skills are actually like very, very close. There might be some proportion things and some elements that you need to do, but it's not really modeling. It's more about the textures, the details, the storytelling, right? Like, what storytelling am I doing here? Well, I'm adding some rust. I'm adding some like decals there that are damaged because this shield has seen some fights, right? It's gone through some different like journeys as well. So that's the kind of stuff that you need to start like figuring out on your work, so that you can convey that in your portfolio and start sort of like progressing in your career as an artist. Okay, that's what I don't want this to be. I don't want people to think that I'm bullying someone, because that's not my goal, of course. Hopefully this doesn't get taken out of context, but my point is, always look at what's being done on the industry and try to figure out how you can make yours better. And I can still see things on this one that I could make better. Like I feel like the model is very simple. Actually, again, did this relatively quickly, but I could definitely hammer a couple of things a little bit more, maybe add a couple more scratches, things like that, right? But it's those little details that can really help you push to the next level. This one I actually didn't model, so for those of you that are asking, this is just this was just a very basic model that I did inside of Maya, so there's no high poly. It's just this very, very low poly. But it's the texturing work that's sort of like saving this asset. And it's this, like things like this, right? Like that decal right there. I'm not just adding metal edgeware everywhere. I'm being very specific about where I want this detail to be to really sell the fact that this shield has gone through some stuff. So it's that kind of like thought process, artistic process that you need to go through in order to get to a nice or a nicer level. Okay. Can you check out the Pavi shield? This is my old work, I think, and thanks you very much for the critique. Yeah, you're welcome, my friend. And again, hopefully you're not taking this the wrong way, Ilia. I'm trying to help as much as you can. You make this one, right? The Pavi shield. Yeah, so it has a similar situation, Ilia, to the one that I mentioned. This is a lot better because it's a lot more complex. It has more things like this, like leather straps, but it's the texturing. See how there's not a lot of variation in the terms of the material back here. The stitching there looks a little bit weird. Sometimes we get small stitches and then we get big stitches. I'm not sure if this is a UV issue or if it's something different. I do like the decals that you added right here, but we can break them down a little bit more by using some of the generators, okay? You're in a good path, Ilia, and don't feel pressured by this because you're very young. You still have your whole life ahead of you, and you're gonna get better and you're gonna learn more stuff and you're gonna be doing amazing things. That's my main goal with all of these things that I share. I want you guys to be making better and better things, okay, like becoming amazing artists. But we need to start focusing on looking at the reference, Ilia, and figuring out what is it that my stuff needs to get to that next level, okay?